Hello. I'm just doing a little video. Just got back from holiday. I've, yeah, really, really needed a holiday. Yeah. But what I'm doing is I'm gonna make you aware of something. Really. Right. I think it's be quite good for you to listen to it. What it is basically my situation, iatrogenic CJD. But also, it tells you about I'll tell you in a minute, about all the different variants, the history of it, and everything. Everything what you need to know. It's very informational. And you don't really get baffled through science, even though they're from the top doctors. So I'll explain. I've been doing a lot for CJD network sport. I know it's all the wrong way around, but I can't do nothing about that. So, but yeah, this is a walk what I did. And just to keep you posted on that, I did a sponsored walk, 82 miles. I did it with my dogs, my son, and my son's friend. My partner Joe was supporting me all the way, and it went really smoothly. We did it in 5 and a bit days. And I put down in just giving a sort of target of £1,500. Well, I've exceeded that, and I've finished for about 5 weeks now, and I've excelled as nearly a grand over, so it's nearly 2,500, and it's all for these guys, CJD Network. Now, it's all well needed funding. It's a charity. CJD Network, and I have been busy with stuff. As you know, if you've seen my previous videos, I've been down to London for the cohort. It's all a bit stressy. It does actually, I do it for myself to make sure that I'm in the clear. Lumbar punctures, MRI scans, there's all sorts of stuff, but that's all explained in the video if you'd like to watch it. It's a prior video. Now, I had to go there, plus I had to walk, plus I had to sort of recover from just recover, and then I had a holiday and everything. So it's just one thing after another, and I'm self-employed and I've still got to work. So I just couldn't go to this meeting. And the meeting is CJD Network Support Group. And it was in September. And it's where all the people, family members, people who want questions answered, see how there's progress happening in the medical side of it all. You always learn. There's loads of information. Some pickles your mind a little bit, but it's very, very sort of so we can all understand it. I went down last year, and I seemed to have been very much on my own still. All the sort of stuff, what was said was to do with the sporadic, which is more the normal one. So, you know what people are sort of getting and passing away, really. And bless them. So this is another reason why I'm doing it, all what I'm doing. So all my bloods are tested. It's all separated. It's turned into a number. So no one knows whose spinal fluid it is or bloods or anything. But I'm telling you now, I'm trying to explain to you how it all happens. And this is why I'm going to carry on doing it. I ain't going to stop, I don't think. Yeah, you get headache from the common headache from your spinal fluid, your lumbar puncture. But it's all right, it goes. It goes, you just get on with it. So, yeah. So, right, okay, so CJD Support Network, and it's September. I missed it, like I said, and all the doctors get together. But last year, 2020, I was invited by a certain doctor up in Edinburgh. This is where it all started, right back in the days, where there was funding to actually try and get to understand the CJD, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, mad cow disease, or whatever you want to call it. And basically, that's where it all started. So we were invited up by a certain doctor called Diane Ritchie, who spoke. It was a very informational thing on 2020, the September 2020, 2022, should I say? I beg your pardon. And anyway, afterwards, she happened to be talking to Joe. Then Joe went, "Well, actually, it's Dave Richardson, and he's over there." And she went, "Oh my God!" Right. So we were invited. She was very worried that when she did a talk, she specialised in the iatrogenic version, and she was really, very nervous that she was going to hurt my feelings. It didn't. It were all good information. So anyway, we were invited up. I were invited up to see her up in Scotland, in Edinburgh, and it were great. Fantastic people. Got to look around the laboratories, told her about my life, everything, and we spent full day there, and it was great. So welcoming. Even Richard Knight came to see me in the lobby of the hotel, and that was also great. So yeah. So I'm going to link these links, right? So I'd really like you to watch if you find it interesting. But this is my life. This is, I'm sure I can't be on my own. But this is really simplified version, especially Diane Ritchie. She wants to say it just how it is and don't get into the big words and all that, bless. But I'm going to link Diane Ritchie first from the 2023 September this year, obviously. I'm going to link her, and I think it'd be really beneficial because it'll actually make people understand better, because it certainly helped me. And then there's another one, Dr. Alex Pedden, and I got on with this guy up in Edinburgh. We're especially all these scientists were all sat around listening to me and asking me questions, and how we're answering them and bouncing off each other and everything else. Well, like I say, Richard Knight came to meet me first thing before we went to the hospital, and we went to the specialist unit and all that. So Richard Knight, you had a lovely talk with him as well. I've met him before, a great guy. He's been about for ages, right at the very beginning. So anyway, going back to Diane Ritchie, I'd like you to, if you're really interested about me and how they're helping me and how I'm using probably my spinal fluid and my fluids, they're probably using it. And the next doctor is Dr. Alex Pedden, like I said, and now he sort of explains about how they utilise and how they use your stuff. And I find it really interesting because I want to be part of it. I feel very privileged to do this. It's still stressy, but look, it's good. It's good. It makes you feel good. So really, if I were you, I'd just give it a go. Diane Ritchie's speech is about 10 minutes. And if you get over that and you understand it, definitely Dr. Alexander Pedden. He takes it a little bit to the next level. And if you get over that, there's actually Edgar Chan and his colleague, a lady with him, and he's specialising in the iatrogenic version, like a recipient like me. So it's further support, as in counselling and getting different techniques of getting over, because it is stressy. You get up every day thinking, well, oh yeah, I can remember yesterday. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So, I'm a bit of a stickler with counselling, because I've said in my newsletter where it says, well, you go to the counselling and you say, well, hello, and use £55, £60 an hour or whatever it is, and they'll go, right. Yeah, like last week, I can't quite remember your story. Can you tell me your story again? And then for a start off, that kicks me off, because it's not a story, it's my life. So you've got to say your story again for the first 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. So that's 30 quid or so, Yorkshireman tight and everything. But so you're doing it all and over and over and over again. So, but with Edgar, he knows your story. He knows the situation, what you're in. And he wants to be there, and you get straight into it. And how he does it is very good. It's very good. But he's actually going to explain the new sort of techniques and everything to help to support you. And he wants to centre towards the iatrogenic version, i.e. me, because it goes on and on and on and on, next day, next day, next day, next day. So it's like he wants to try and understand it more and get into it a little bit more. So I'll leave you with that. If you know, just sort of, there's no systematic order, but I think personally with this, with Diane Ritchie first, and then Dr. Alex Pedden second, and then probably Edgar Chan and his colleague third, but then also Richard Knight. I'm going back to Richard Knight up in Edinburgh. He's been there a quiet time, and he's absolutely so wrapped up in it, and he wants to make a difference, and he's so passionate. But what's his talk about is right from the very start why it was named Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, and the person who actually created it. But it turns out to be two people, and they both sort of opposed each other and everything. But he goes into all the history of the disease, which is interesting. You should listen to that as well. And also after that, that's the history. But then also Simon Mead. He's down in London, and I've met him on quite a few occasions. I went to the open day in November 22, 2022. But he did. Simon's lovely, and he's called Simon Mead. But what he does, he actually goes into it in depth about a cure, and they're getting somewhere. I've mentioned in my latest, my recent sort of videos about a PRN 100, and I've actually found, because he's a prion disease, he's quite specialist and everything, and he goes into all that of how a cure works and what they've found and all the different techniques they can probably use and everything, but it's all down to lack of money. Lack of money. Once again, all the bureaucracy and everything. But, you know, it's all very interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the links down of Diane Ritchie and the link of Dr. Alex Pedden. But also, if you was to type into YouTube, what's it, CJD Network Support Group 2023 Family Open Day, and that would bring them all up. But I would recommend that if it's iatrogenic, you go through Diane Ritchie, Dr. Alex Pedden, and then, you know, Dr. Edgar Chan, and then go so on. But if you're connected with sporadic or the inherited or the variant, but you can go Richard Knight for the history, and then do Diane Ritchie, then the Alex Pedden, and then Edgar Chan. Well, then Simon Mead, that's where the cure is, like potential cures, and what he has sort of tricks up his sleeve and which avenue to go through. It's all very interesting. So I'd really, if, you know, people need to understand about the CJD, because people always think it's just one disease, and it's not. There's 4 variants of it, and the people think that it's all to do with the beef burger, which is the variant. But there's variant, which is the beef burger, and then there's the inherited, then there's sporadic, and then there's the iatrogenic version, which is what I've received through the human growth hormone injections. And that is basically from an infected pituitary gland, which was harvested from at the autopsy stage, unfortunately, for a person who died from CJD back then. So it all started in 1958, 59 for growth hormone. But yeah. So all the figures and everything, I won't rattle on anymore. And, you know, give it a bash. Just give Diane Ritchie a bash, because it's like 10 minutes. It's not a massive chunk of out your time. It's not like some of the videos, like one was a bit over the top, and I think it's like about 50 minutes, and that was like the charity walk, all snippets all the way through. But you know, that's that. I'm sorry about that, but anyway, I've left it on. But try Diane Ritchie. She's a lovely woman, very straight down the line, lovely. But so is Alex. I've met Alex, and he's a great guy, and they're all highly intelligent. But yeah, I really admire them for what they're doing. So give it a bash. I'll try and I'm going to put the links on as Diane Ritchie and then Alex Pedden, and then you can go work from there because you can probably find it all on YouTube anyway. So yeah, all right. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you find them very informational because I do, but I'm wrapped up in it. But I know that I'm helping them with my juice, my spinal fluid, and my bloods, or somewhere down the line. But there's other people doing it as well. You know, just all voluntary sort of stuff and everything. But it's good, and I'm one of them, and I'm very proud of it. So bye for now, and hope you enjoy them. Bye-bye. Don't forget about CJD Network, and don't forget about CJD Network and Dave Richardson if you can still want to do a voluntary donation straight to the network or to me, because it's still open for now. Dave Richardson, CJD. Bye for now. Bye.